I do not force. I just from talking to people around the league and even around them, I would be floored if they took a tackle early in this draft. Floored. I just cannot see them doing it. And a guard, like, it is a good class for guards, but it's like, I don't know. Are you really going to take a guard?
It's That Football Show here on KC Sports Network. Tucker Franklin hanging out as always with Matt Verderame. Thank you to our sponsors, Ben Holiday, Ball and Bond Bourbon. Happy Saturday if you were listening to this on Saturday. We're here to talk about all things going on in the NFL, which is not a lot. Matt, how you been doing?
I'm good. I decided to start eating a Hershey miniature right as you start recording the podcast like a dope, but I don't care. It's good. I feel like it fits the show. I'm fine. We're eating it Friday afternoon. My body is going to give out because I played way too much pickleball the last 2 days. I'm going to play again in like 2 hours.
Good.
And there's a decent to fair chance that I go to hit a shot and 9 body parts simultaneously just cease to function permanently. Depending on which 9 they are, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, but it might end in a hospital call. So, it is what it is.
I haven't dabbled too much in the pickleball game, truthfully. I've played it a few times, like chicken and pickle, but nothing like too seriously, like, officially sanctioned games type of deal. Right. But I haven't, every time I've played it, I've had a good time playing it, but I haven't really gotten into it as much as you have. Do
you like to beat up on the elderly?
Yeah.
Pickleball is your sport.
Let's
go. Once in a while, though, like, you get somebody who's like, you can't hit the ball hard, and he can't hit it over my head. Like, I'm not playing with you.
Right.
You have to play with me. I'm next in line. And then I just drive it at him anyway. Yeah. My only real rule is if you're over the age of 70, I will not hit you in the face with the ball.
That's fair. Yeah.
Anywhere else is fair game. I don't want to hear you like, oh, my torso. Like, that's your problem. Get the paddle up.
Yeah.
I mean, I did feel bad the other day. A ball ricocheted off my paddle, hit this woman right in the face. But, she took like a champ.
Good.
So, but pickleball is fun, man. Pickleball, I actually play quite a bit with the guy who played in the NHL.
Really?
Yes. The guy makes me look like a child, size-wise. Like, he was an enforcer in the NHL.
I love that.
And I knew he played hockey because a ball came off the net cord and anybody else, like, balls hit hard off the net cord. It's such an imperceptible, like, deflection, but it's like, a guy, like, tips a pass basically in the NFL. Like, it throws off everything. Anybody else I play with, including myself, like, is either barely hitting the ball or, like, not hitting it. And this dude just played the ricochet and ripped this thing. And I immediately looked like, you play professional sports? Yep, played in the NHL. Like, I had a feeling. Like, nobody has that kind of hand-eye coordination who's not an exceptional athlete. Not to mention he's about 6'5", 250, and if he hit me, I'd pass away on the spot.
Probably another giveaway.
Nicest guy in the world. But it's fun, man. It's a good time. I highly encourage everybody to get out there.
So we're obviously going to talk a little bit of Chiefs on this episode. There's some stuff going on the NFL that we got to talk about. Little Chiefs draft strategies. We are rapidly firing, hurling ever so faster into the sun of the NFL draft. I didn't know where I was going to finish that sentence, but I finished it there.
You barely started that sentence. Great. We're rapidly firing 7 caramel Chiefs.
That's how I have to throw a break and just say Chiefs. I forgot about that. But we are going into the draft very quickly. We'll talk about the Chiefs drafting philosophy as a free agency is over, barring anything massive. I don't think that's going to happen.
But you're the Patriots. You're just going to give Stefan Diggs almost $70 million.
I saw a video today. I don't know if you know this, Matt, but Stefan Diggs is dating one Cardi B. Are you aware of Cardi?
No idea. Shockingly, I'm sure, but no.
You know who Cardi B is, though, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know who she is. She's a singer or something. Yeah, I know she is.
Yeah. rapper, but that's okay.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, no, I'll count it. I'll throw it on the
She
board.
makes music.
She does. There you go.
Okay.
I saw a video of Robert Kraft at like Fanatics Fest because what's his name? Michael Rubin, who owns Fanatics.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. He has these big parties and throws all these parties. Fanatics Fest, I think, was in New York, and like Robert Kraft was like stoked that Cardi B was there, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is why he brought Stefan Diggs in. It's because he just wanted Cardi B to be around." And I like to think that, that's why they actually signed Stefan Diggs, not because like he might still have some in the tank and he might be a decent wide receiver for Drake May, and he could. Also, he's not playing that full 3-year contract. I would be floored. I would be floored. Correct. I would be floored if he was there in 3 years. Nevertheless, that's why he brought him in, because he just wanted to hang out with Cardi B.
So, like, you said Jonathan Kraft or Robert Kraft?
Robert. Yeah, I'll send you the video. Robert
Kraft has this weird thing about being much younger than he is. Just in general. Like, even like the way he dressed, like just like the shoe game and stuff. And it's like, all right, listen, I know there are people out there, hey man, like don't hate on. I'm not hating on it, but Robert Kraft's like 80.
Yeah.
Like if one of my grandfathers was still alive today and showed up at the dinner table in like Yeezys, I mean, hey Gramps, like
what's going on?
You good? Like, I'd be like, you okay? Or if like my grandfather who loves Sinatra and Dean Martin, like if he had just stopped playing that, it was like, you know what? Gonna listen to some T.I. Like I gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm so like at some point you kind of are a product of your age, right? I mean that maybe there's something to be said for just staying young, staying in the moment. I mean, I can respect that, but
yeah,
like you're going to a Fanatics party. I mean, Rob, at some point, man, like, is it not just time to be, hey, you know what? Look, I'm good. Like, I'll send my son Jonathan Kraft. I mean, Robert Kraft, to be accurate, is 83. I'll be 84 in June.
Wow.
I'm just saying. Like, hey, listen, you do what you got to do. You want to enjoy your life? Go nuts. But I don't know. I just think about that as like, he obviously is a person. Like, if my grandfather's like, go to the Fanatics party. Like, what? Like,
right.
I don't know. Just saying.
To his credit, he does look a lot better than 84. I think
the guy's worth billions of dollars. Most people that are
pretty easy to look a little bit younger than you are when you have $1 billion.
Come on, like you almost have an obligation to look better than your age if you're worth that much money, right?
It's like that Ricky Bobby quote when he says, "With advancements in technology and my unlimited resources, there's no reason to think I can't live past 200, 250."
I mean, if I was worth billions of dollars, every 6 months I'd go down to the old, the cosmetic store and be, hey, let's shave off 10 pounds.
Right.
That pesky 10 pounds has been hanging out for about 20 years. If it was like, well, you wanted to be shaved, do 15, but no, just 10. Like that, 10's good. But yeah, like I'd be going down there all the time. But then, the problem with me is I'd end up looking like one of these people that they put in a magazine, you get at like when you're checking out, I was writing to an National Enquirer.
Right.
Like it would be like, look at Verderame. Like I'd just be all lopsided and it'd be a disaster. I'd look like my face was made out of plastic. It wouldn't be good. It's a good thing I don't make it off my age, all that stuff.
So the Patriots are citing Stefan Diggs. His introductory press conference is on Friday. There's another team in the AFC East that also gave us a very early Christmas present. Via Damar Hamlin, actually, is who delivered this Christmas present on the at Hallmark channel on Twitter.
Okay. I didn't see him. I thought that was...
Yes, this is how this was announced, Matt, is Hallmark Media and the NFL are teaming up this year with the Buffalo Bills for an all-new holiday movie, Holiday Touchdown, a Bills love story, part of Countdown to Christmas 2025. Now, if you do remember correctly, the Chiefs went Hollywood, obviously, with their Hallmark movie, and the Bills are now joining in. And the Bills are now the next team that are going to be a part of Love Story. It's National Football League Skydance Sports on the production of it. They announced it on Thursday. And as I mentioned, Damar Hamlin, delivered the news. Production will kick off later this year and filmed entirely at locations in and around Buffalo, including Highmark Stadium, home of the Bills. The cast of the film will be announced at a later date. The latest holiday touchdown will premiere during Hallmark Channel's 16th annual countdown to Christmas this winter. Matt, you didn't know this. Well, when we were talking about right before we went on air, I told you, I was like, yeah, well, we got to talk about the Bills movie. And you're like, what Bills movie?
I had no idea. I've never watched the Chiefs movie, which goes to show how much I care about all this stuff. I have a lot of thoughts.
I want to hear them all. I want to hear every single one of them.
Good, because you're gonna.
I'm gonna sit back, actually.
Like, when this movie gets made, does it end with them losing to the Chiefs in the playoffs? Like, does Hallmark, are they all writing the movie out? And they're like, listen, we're Hallmark, but at some point we've got to be realistic about how this thing ends. Does somebody shank a kick to the right? You know, like, is it just like, do they have like Tyler Bass play himself and then just, dove hook it, snap hook to the right? I just cannot believe the Bills are actually doing this movie. Like, listen, I'm going to keep it, as the kids say, I'm keep it a buck here. All right. It was embarrassing enough that Chiefs did this movie. Okay. And I understand. Hey, it's money and it's a little bit of publicity. You're the NFL. You don't need more publicity. Okay. Like, the Chiefs with you were explaining the plot, man, never saw like some lucky hat. Like, I guess they forgot to bring that to the Superdome a couple months ago. Look, you know what? I'm sorry. What are we doing? But as shameful as that is, and you explained, you had all this backstory. I had no idea. Apparently, Hallmark was like from Kansas City, and sure, whatever, right? The Bills having the gall to make a Hallmark movie a year after the Chiefs did it.
Right.
If this ends with them winning the Super Bowl, it needs to be labeled as science fiction. Like, I don't want to hear any Bills fan like, oh, this is a great idea. This is embarrassing. And I would say it about anybody. If the only team that would get no crap from me is Philly, okay? They're the only team that wouldn't get any crap from me. But I'll tell you right now, they'll never do that in Philly because not one human being would watch it.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, Bills fans are going to watch it because if they do win the Super Bowl, it's going to be the only time maybe that to this point anyway, they've ever seen it. So it's going to be, hey, let's all celebrate. I'm sorry. It is so embarrassing to follow the Chiefs on this and be like, we also have a Hallmark movie? Just stop, man. Oh, my God. Again, the only way this movie is salvageable is if they lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs. They do that, then all right, you know what, at least it's realistic. But otherwise, please spare me this stuff.
I am going to be very curious of what they make the plot of this movie. Because as you mentioned, it was about a lucky hat and going to Super Bowls and winning Super Bowls and having a lot of team success because of this hat. And obviously Hallmark was able to parlay that into making hats to sell, right? So like they got some merch off of it. But there's no, for lack of a better term, redeemable quality about the Buffalo Bills when it comes to what they can kind of celebrate. They are known, the Buffalo Bills are known as lovable losers, right? They lose every time they get to a big game. That's what the Buffalo Bills do. So are they going to have them win a game? I don't know, man. Like, I just don't understand what the plot's going to be. I would love to see if a hat comes into it. I actually think maybe I don't have those right by my desk. I actually was at the game where the game before they like released the movie and they gave out pennants for this movie, and I'll find them. I think they're right by my desk, but it'll be obviously for the YouTube audience on that side of things. But look, as you mentioned, it makes sense, I think, for the Chiefs to do it because Hallmark was founded in Kansas City. It's a Kansas City company. That's where the headquarters are. Crown Center is Hallmark owned, right? Like, that makes money. The Hall family, the Halls is there. Like, everything is intertwined with Kansas City. So, like, when they announced it with the Chiefs, like, okay, that makes sense, right? Like, if they're going to do it with an NFL team, that makes sense. I saw this. I immediately did not understand it. I was like, why would they make, number one, another one? And number two, the Buffalo Bills, I actually want to know, Matt, Were the Bills actually the first choice? Do you think the Bills were the first choice, or do you think they had to go 3 or 4 down the list before a team said yes?
I don't know. I mean, if they're trying to find a good team, the Bills are certainly up there, right? But like when you were saying like they're going to film areas in and around Buffalo, like I did think to myself, I don't know. That seems harder to do than it would be like Los Angeles or New York or I don't know, San Antonio. Like I've got a lot of questions. By the way, Tucker's gone. Tucker is in the win. I honestly I don't blame him. I don't even want to listen to me speak about this movie. There it is. Holiday touchdown. Did you pay for that?
Oh, it was a giveaway. It was a giveaway.
I was like, if you paid for that, I'm divesting myself of the show.
Actually, that's what's really cool. This side is actually really cool. It doesn't have any Hallmark branding on it.
I love they couldn't put the KC in there. No, we're not.
I didn't even notice that they couldn't.
We're not paying for the trademark. No, I mean, look, it's like I would pay to know what the locations are in Buffalo that they're filming. Like, I mean, listen.
That's a great point.
I've been to Buffalo many times, and I used to make fun of Buffalo like relentlessly, and people in Buffalo get super pissed about it. And I'm here to tell you, I think Buffalo can be very nice in the summer. Buffalo, and I think Buffalonians would tell you this, so I don't feel I'm taking a shot at them. After about September, rough.
Yeah.
Get your snowshoes out because it is. I mean, look, I went to school not far from Buffalo. Okay, I mean I've seen snow in May. It's a lot. So I'm hoping for Hallmark's sake they decided to film between like Memorial Day and Labor Day, because if they're like, oh, we'll film in March, no, you won't.
Yeah,
unless you want to film a whiteout, no, you won't. But yeah, I cannot believe the Bills had the gall to do this. This is an affront. It is egregious. I'm going to be at the owners' meetings this weekend. I may have to ask the Bills about this. Who sanctioned this? Did everyone sign off on this? Who's in this movie? Who's taking money for this? Like I have, it might be my expose here for Sports Illustrated.
Maybe it's DeMar Hamlin. Maybe that's their angle that they're going here.
DeMar Hamlin, he's not getting a word out of me. Okay, the rest of that team, everybody else is fair game.
I think that's fair. Statement from Bills COO Pete Guelli.
Sure.
He said, this is just another example of how the Bills brand and our amazing fan base continues to go across sports and entertainment landscape. This is an incredible opportunity to feature Western New York and Bills Mafia on the Hallmark platform. It's a privilege to be a part of this project, and we hope this film will be a hit during the holiday season.
All right. Sure.
I know a lot of times, so you mentioned the filming aspect of it. I know in Kansas City, they filmed it in like June. Also, incredibly quick turnaround for a movie that's going to premiere in November.
Yeah, I'm guessing there's not a whole lot of coverage. Yeah, a lot of stuff they've got to get done. You know?
I know it was tough for like when they filmed it because they had to dress like it was winter, right? But it was June in Kansas City. So, it was kind of hot and people were wearing like sweatshirts and scarves and stuff like that. And that was a big complaint about it. To be fair, if they're doing it in Western New York in about June-ish, it'll probably be okay.
Yeah, that's fair. That's very fair. By the way, I don't know if this is the same for you, but Twitter is currently down.
Yeah, it is.
It is for you as well.
I can't get it to load on.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
no, I can't get.
All I can see is like the page like before it decides to just crash.
Uh-huh.
And you have like that explore on the right hand side where it tells you like all the shit that it thinks you care about.
Yeah.
Number 2, I have no idea what this is referring to because Twitter doesn't work currently. Stephen A. Smith's live TV blunder, mistakenly mourns Nolan Richardson.
Yep, he did do that.
Stephen A. Smith's having a wild 2 weeks. Like just an absolute all-time couple of weeks.
Look,
beefing with LeBron, then talking about that if LeBron hit him, he'd hit him back. I'm like, I got to tell you, if LeBron hits you, you're not going to hit him back, bud. You're going to be on a stretcher, just like the rest of humanity. Like, if you've seen the size of LeBron, that's like me being like, yeah, you know what? if Warren Sapp hits me, I've got no choice. I got to hit him back. Like, yeah, you're dead. Like, have you seen the size of this individual? Yeah, if Shaq hits me, I'm going to get him back. Like, no, you're not.
What I do like about all of this Stephen A. Smith stuff is he's like, how come this keeps happening to me? And as he's the one who caused it, right? Like, he's like, yeah, you talk shit about his son and you just expected him not to care about that? I mean, he's one of the biggest voices in sports media talking shit about his son, how he's like a Nepo draft pick. Like, that's the first time that's ever happened, by the way. That's never happened before. No one has ever been picked because of their family in the NBA or the NFL. Like, that's never happened before. And like, I understand. I'm a LeBron. I'm gonna be a LeBron homer probably till I die, right? And just like people from the '90s are like Jordan stands until they die, right? That's just the era I grew up in. I'm always gonna love LeBron. I'm always gonna think LeBron is the GOAT. And that's like, it's okay. I understand why people think Jordan is. Like, I get it. I understand it.
You're allowed to be wrong.
You're a LeBron guy?
Oh, I'm a Jordan guy.
Okay.
I grew up in the 90s. He whipped my heart out every year in the playoffs.
Well, see, so that's the thing, is I've seen LeBron and I have never watched Jordan. So like, that's the other part of it. I mean, other than like
Jordan's the most terrifying individual I've ever watched play a sport. Like, only guy I ever watched as a Knicks fan, where they'd be in the middle of a playoff game and you felt like the Knicks were doing a pretty good job on him. And then like he hit like a 15-footer and Marv Albert, and it's 40 for Jordan. And you're like, I actually thought they contained him. Thought they were doing all right. Like, you're like, only 40? Yeah. Oh, my God. In any event, by the way, just to put a ball in this, because people are probably like, what?
Them need to hear us argue about LeBron and Jordan on this program.
Yeah. I guess, so on First Take, on Friday, Stephen A. Smith said he's going to be able to recruit better than anybody, talking about Calipari in Arkansas.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to recruit better than anybody ever has there outside of Mr. 40 Minutes of Hell himself, the late, great Nolan Richardson, God rest his soul. Then ESPN came back and went in the next segment, and Smith clarified saying, quote, I am fully aware that Nolan Richardson is alive. Trust me, I apologize for that. I know he's alive. I mean, I got to tell you, I don't think you knew he was alive.
I don't think he did.
You said he was the late, great Nolan Richardson, and then also followed that up with God rest his soul. Like, I'm thinking you thought he was dead. Which, by the way, he's 83 years old. Okay, same age as Robert Kraft. We're really talking about 83-year-olds in this program here today. Listen, I can understand maybe you thought he was gone. Like, what the hell? He's not coaching currently. Like, maybe you confused him with somebody else. It's perfectly reasonable to come back and go, I'm really sorry. I just confused the details in my head. To come back on and be like, you know what? I knew it the whole time. No, you didn't.
You really did not.
You clearly didn't. And fine, but to then double back on it is such a weird way to, like, it's okay, man. We all make mistakes. Like, no, actually, I did know that. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. He's having a real weird 2 weeks. And then wasn't there also, I don't want to mistakenly speak on this, didn't he also have like beef with Nick Wright over the last couple of weeks?
Probably. Yeah, because Nick Wright's a LeBron guy, so like that makes sense.
Like Nick Wright did like a whole like podcast segment about like Stephen A. and like yeah, there was like something going on there. It's been, this is why I just try to be very, I toe the line. And I straddle the fence, and I try not to upset anybody. This is why. It's because I don't want to have to maybe get into a fight at a Starbucks in Indianapolis.
Right.
And I don't want to have a 2-week run where I am talking about fighting LeBron James and people who are still alive and calling them dead. Listen, that's why you be a fence traveler. You don't deal with that crap.
That's true. And then you can always be right.
That's right. And then you never have to say you're wrong.
Mm-hmm. Right. Good point.
Hell down my ass for that.
Yeah, BJ called me a little bit earlier. I don't know if you heard that one come through, but
no,
I posted that one.
This is like these people that are trying to fix my back that I think is impossible at this point.
Well, we can figure that out during the break. Chiefs.
Shop Chiefs tickets and more with no fees. Plus, save big with code KCSN at ticketsforless.com, the official ticket provider of KC Sports Network.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story, like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner in possible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
I didn't figure out shit. Thing went to voicemail. All right. We said we would talk about the Chiefs draft strategy, so this seems like a good time because I don't think it'll in an hour. So, I wish everybody watched, which is like, thank God.
We have to power rank our best ballpark foods. I didn't talk about that at the top because we start talking about the Bills and the Patriots citing Cardi B. But we're power ranking our best ballpark foods. Stick around for that. It'll be after the next break. But go ahead, Chiefs draft strategy. Floor is yours, Matt.
Great, thanks. Look, I think you got to take a defensive tackle, right? And then after that,
that's what I think too.
Do whatever the hell you want. I mean, look. Because I'm sure most people, if not all people watching this are Chiefs fans, there's always going to be more panic about the team within the Chiefs fan base than there is from outside media. People from the outside look at the Chiefs and they're like, yeah, you can roll the footballs out and win 14 games. People inside the Chiefs kingdom, if you will, are like, oh my God, if 3 guys get hurt, Sky Moore's got to play. Yeah. It's like, well, yeah, but I mean, it's true of every single team, and for some teams, Sky Moore's just playing.
True.
Panthers. So it's like, I think when you look at them in totality, they need a starter at defensive tackle next to Chris Jones, right? But again, even think about that sentence. They need a starter next to Chris Jones. It's not like they're like, man, we just got nobody inside. You have Chris Jones. If that other guy's got a pulse, he's going to be decent. So they need that starter there. What's going on? You made a face like something.
That was my mic arm. Sorry. I don't know if you heard the...
I did hear. I wasn't sure what... I thought maybe we will try to call you back to tell us the show was canceled. He was watching it live. No, it was in.
He said no dice. You guys got to scrap this one.
I'm not paying for this. Look, I think other than the tackle, if I'm Veach, I'm pretty much taking best player available here. And I hate that term because people are the BPA. Yeah, bullshit. If the best guy on the board's a quarterback, the Chiefs are going to go, well, Jackson Dart was there. Not going to happen. But I think relatively speaking, if you're the Chiefs, you're going to list down 8 to 10 positions where you're like, listen, we could use some depth here, or we could add a guy, whatever, linebacker, corner, whatever it is, receiver. I think for the Chiefs, outside of a starting defensive tackle, that's pretty much what you're doing. If you get to pick 66, right, the third rounder they have from Tennessee, if they get to that pick and the best guy on their board is just a guy that, let's say he's a tight end who they had 25th overall on their board, take him. Take him and let him compete with Noah Gray and Jared Wiley and sit behind Kelsey for a year. Take him. I think sometimes people get into this mindset of can't do that. You got Noah Gray. Look, I like Noah Gray. He's fine. But if they can, if they think they can take somebody who's really good, who they thought was a first round level prospect, I don't give a damn that Noah Gray's in the team. You take the guy. And if Noah Gray's good enough to beat him out, awesome. And if he's not good enough to beat him out, well, that's good too, because that means that guy's better than Noah Gray already.
Right.
So, I think other than D tackle, which I think is their only really remaining need, I think if you're Brett Veach, you're pretty much just going down the board. And this guy's the best guy. He's not a quarterback. We're taking him. That's pretty much how I would approach it.
So I wholeheartedly agree with your stance there and like how the Chiefs should approach that. But I keep seeing these mock drafts, Matt, where they keep having the Chiefs taking offensive tackles and some having them interior offensive linemen. I think that I am hoping that that's just lazy. Like that's what I'm hoping for, because if the Chiefs take another tackle in the top 50, it doesn't make sense.
They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Okay, look. So here's the deal. Okay, the Chiefs, if you look back over the years with Brett Veach as their general manager, they don't take tackles unless they have 34-inch arms. They just don't.
That's true. Yeah.
This class is a walking class of T-Rexes. Okay, and I love. By the way, Will Campbell. This is I'm not picking on Will Campbell. He just happens to be the example.
Arm screw.
This is the most NFL drafting of all time. It happens every year. He goes to the combine and measures with like 32.5-inch arms, which are ridiculously short for a tackle. Like most teams will tell you, if it's under 33, like the guy's a guard. Mm-hmm. He then goes to his own pro day, and you're not going to believe it. 33 inches.
On the nose.
On the nose. Like, oh, look at that. Like he's been sleeping with both arms off the bed and 25-pound weights attached to them. And he's got 33-inch arms now. I'm surprised they weren't 37.
Right.
Probably this wasn't the Hulk, you know? But then they did his wingspan. His wingspan would be in the 0 percentile.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's not great. I do not force. I just from talking to people around the league and even around them, I would be floored if they took a tackle early in this draft. Floored. I just cannot see them doing it. And a guard, like, it is a good class for guards, but it's like, I don't know. Are you really going to take a guard? Like, maybe, like, not early, not in the first round. God, no. Like,
right.
You know, some guy you love in the third round, maybe you take him and you like let him compete with Kingsley or something. Like, I guess, like, you just took Kingsley in the second round.
Right.
I have a really hard time seeing them doing that. But the tackle thing in the first round, for the love of God, stop. Like,
yeah.
They're not taking a tackle in the first. They signed Jalen Moore a nanosecond after free agency's tampering period opened. Okay. Do you think that's the action of a team that's like better going to tackle at 31? Like, if they were going to do that, they wouldn't have signed Jalen Moore for $30 million. I will eviscerate them if they take a tackle at 31 who has like 30-inch arms. Okay?
Yes.
I would also question, like, was Veach tied up and put in a broom closet when they made that pick? Like, there's no way Brett Veach is taking a tackle that has 32.5-inch arms in the first round. Now, look, some guy in the 7th round, even the 4th round, some developmental, sure, fine.
Mm-hmm.
With 31, I would be absolutely shocked if they did that.
And that's the thing that I keep getting caught up on, is that, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, the tackle doesn't make any sense. They didn't just sign Jalen Moore to a contract that, you know, that's starter money. That's starter money in the National Football League. Why would they draft another developmental tackle when they already have, you know, 2 on their roster? Like, that's the one that's the part that doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm hoping that these are just kind of like lazy draft takes, right? These are just like, oh, their offensive line got blown up in the Super Bowl, so, you know, they should take it as an offensive lineman, and not actually diving deep into it. But, like, man, I don't see it. I don't see it with any of these guys. None of these guys are guys where I'm like super stoked if the Chiefs get, like, I don't think there's an offensive tackle in the first round if they draft. I'm like, oh, I really like that guy. I think there's some okay guys, but every one of those guys that you're getting at 31, or have you even seen trades up to 26? So I think that was for Derek Harmon, though. I think I saw that one on the NFL Network. Which that would make sense because he's a defensive lineman. I think defensive lineman is the way to go. It's a strong defensive lineman class.
Correct.
The offensive tackle, the offensive lineman just, like, does not make any sense to me. And I know there's unknowns on the left side of the ball. And I know you guys listening to this podcast were like, Tucker, didn't you and Matt just say that the offensive line, like, has 2 positions you have no clue on? Like, yeah, you want to add another question mark? You want to add another mystery box into that equation? I don't want to. I'd rather just keep it going.
15 offensive linemen.
Right. That's the other part of it. They've already got a ton of offensive linemen on their roster.
I mean, how many guys are you keeping? All right, let's wrap up this part here. Would you rather them trade up in this draft or trade back?
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think it's all going to depend on how the board falls, because there's a chance, like, you know how, like, Jackson Dart could sneak in the first round if the Steelers really want to take him there, and I think that helps. Depending on where the running backs go, I think that could also help the Chiefs a little bit into how the board looks for them. I mean, Walter Nolan's a guy that I really like to on the football field. Like, he pops off on film. I think he would be fun next to Chris Jones. So I do think that they're probably better in this draft trading back. If you can get more top 100 picks,
I agree.
I think that's probably, you get more swings at it. That's probably the best case scenario for them. I don't know how this board will fall for them. I do a few simulations every now and again. I don't tweet them out because mock drafts are just like,
because you're not the worst person alive.
right? They're just football fans.
Here's my mock draft. Here's my second mock. Nobody cares.
My favorite one is when they make the most outlandish trade in the world that would never actually happen. An NFL team would do it.
Third and gave up like a 2027 fourth round pick. Look, I did it.
Look, I did it. Like, come on, wake up, Veach. What are you doing? Come on, Veach, take notes. I'm just like, what? It's just fan fiction, dude.
You know,
that's all it is.
He's on Twitter with a burner, and
100%.
Like, he's seeing these things, and he's like, "Come on, man! Like, what do you want me to do here?"
Right.
But it's so funny that the NFL does work in ridiculous ways. Like, I remember when I was back at Fansided years ago, I wrote a piece about their. I'm just trying to think now. It was their 2021 offseason because they drafted Humphrey and Bolton and Smith. And so it was, and I wrote it like before they'd ever played it down. Like, I just kind of chronicled their entire offseason. They traded for Orlando Brown. And I remember talking to sources for the piece and was literally told the way they figured out the draft compensation for Orlando Brown was both front offices settled on an online draft calculator. And that's how they figured out the compensation for Orlando Brown, an online draft pick calculator. Now, like, any asshole would use it. It's amazing. And here's like two of the best franchises in the league, and they couldn't agree on draft compensation. Like, let's just get on Draft Tech. That's how they figured it out. I found it was actually draft pick, but it was. I remember when that story came out. Like, I think it was like Ben Baldwin just tweeted. He's like, "Are you serious?" Yes. I am dead serious. Yes. And I was like a 2-day like fervor. People were like, how could this be true? I'm like, it's true. It's true. If I had written that at the time, like now the Sports Illustrated plot, that would have been fascinating. But by the way, one thing we should talk about, because we were just whipping the Bills, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
The Chiefs also have a documentary or a movie coming out. It's a documentary. It is a 6-part documentary, which is being made by ESPN, Disney Plus, and Skydance Sports. That's who's announcing it anyway. That obviously, that's where the documentary can be seen. In part, the press release reads. Let me skip some of this crap. By the way, I noticed that 2 p.m. Productions is also part of this. You may have figured out that's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's seen it in a pretty positive light. I mean, not that he wasn't going to be, but when your own production company's involved.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see how the 2023 receivers fare now. Mahomes is going to the producer from 2 p.m. He's like, just annihilate him. Just say all the things I want to say. But in any event, okay, so in part, it reads, the original documentary series, which was filmed over the course of the 2024 season and includes unprecedented access into the players' lives on and off the field, details the Chiefs' journey as the club completed a franchise record 15-win regular season, captured a third consecutive Lamar Hunt Trophy as AFC champions, and made a third straight Super Bowl appearance in New Orleans. The remarkable run builds upon nearly a decade of tremendous success, during which the team made the playoffs every year, won the for 2015-2024. Won the AFC West Division title 9 years running, appeared in the AFC Championship game 7 years in a row, and ultimately made 5 Super Bowl appearances over the last 6 years, raising the hallowed Vince Lombardi Trophy 3 times. You know what kills me? Can you imagine reading that paragraph 10 years ago?
Whoa.
You would make me. I did a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
I'm not good. Somebody's got to call an ambulance. But yeah. So apparently this is a 6-part series. It's like chronicling their rise into becoming what they are now. Yeah. And then also, there was I'll read one of, there's a quote from President of Content from ESPN, Burke Magnus, who says, ESPN and Disney Plus know that sports fans are interested in stories to take them beyond the X's and O's. And this series will explore the legacy of the Chiefs franchise while also showcasing the emotional highs and lows of building a championship-winning team. From the brilliance of Patrick Mahomes to the leadership of Andy Reid and the passion of Chiefs Kingdom, this project will showcase the drama, intensity, and heart that make this team a global phenomenon. So, Chiefs fans are going to eat it up, and the rest of the world's going to be, oh my God, just more propaganda. It'll be good. It'll be good. I look forward.
It'll be perfect. It's everything that that basically the Chiefs Kingdom is used to already. Of just being the golden boy of the NFL. We're going to take a break. On the other side, we are going to talk about, we're going to power rank our best ballpark foods in honor of opening day this week. It happened. Baseball is now here. This isn't that baseball show, but we should pretty much just call this that sports show, Matt. I feel like we kind of hit all kinds of
some bullshit.
You know what? That would actually be a really good title for a podcast. Just some bullshit with Tucker Franklin and Matt Verderame. I want to tell you guys though about Hope Faith 2025 disc golf tournament. They have Hope Faith is our partner at KCSM Foundation for the Feed It Forward program, the Hope Faith Homeless Assistance campus on June 14th, 2025. They're doing their 2025 disc golf tournament. You could sign up your team of 4 for $100. All proceeds benefit Hope Faith programs and services. Included in that registration, you get lunch, refreshments, a disc, morning of friendly competition, raffles, and prizes. We got the link in the description below, and we can't wait to see you guys out there. That will be taking place in June. A wonderful time for some disc golf. I don't know if you ever dabbled in disc golf, Matt. Have you ever done it before? I've only done it like a couple times.
I have not. But it does seem pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you figure out how to throw a frisbee the right way, I mean, you can really hum them in there, and I do enjoy it. But all right, we're gonna take a break. We'll be back right after this with some power rankings.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network. Entertain, educate, inform. KC Sports Network.
But before we go to the ballpark foods, this is a good segue though. I saw this tweet during the break, and I floored by everything.
Oh, Twitter's back.
Yeah, Twitter is back. Yes.
Okay.
So give credit here to Pigtown Sports because they tweeted this out. Okay, it's a shout out Pigtown Sports. Hey, I'm big on giving credit.
100% love it.
So he screenshotted this like Twins Fanatics MLB opening day. Like they were like these two people are standing in a ballpark wearing Twins uniforms. Right, of course that's. This kills me. This is a great tweet. Guy writes, Fanatics really knocked it out of the park here. Twin shirt, Guardian hat in Camden Yards. And it's like, I would have just scrolled right by and not cared.
Right.
How the hell did they wear a Guardian's hat in this? It's not even close. Like, it's not like they're like, the Reds or something. Somebody really screwed that up. It's just still really bad. Right. You're the Minnesota Twins. What? Like, so there's the only hat we've got. Just throw it on. I say, well, you want to do it without the hat? That might be, but no, I need a hat. Like, all right. You gotta love it. And then also just in Baltimore.
In Baltimore, yeah. They did all of those shoots in one day, too.
Just superimposed a different stadium in the background, man.
Yeah. Shoot in front of a green screen.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's not that hard. It really isn't.
That day, like,
let's do them all here. Fanatics, this might be too far. Fanatics might be a terrorist organization.
It might be too far. I love it. You were like, I don't know, maybe this is inbound. Maybe it's not. They could be a terrorist organization.
You see what they did to MLB uniforms last year?
Oh, no, you had no argument. They're terrible. They're terrible.
Their hockey uniforms suck.
Yeah, it's not good. I agree. And then they're aren't they about to like take over like baseball trading cards too?
Probably.
Yeah, they're just gonna ruin everything. It's good. Since we're about to get sued by Fanatics, I've got okay. I'll give you a quick story, and then we'll get into the ballpark foods. So I gotta keep names out of this because one of them might be under federal indictment. Like, so when I was kidding, I think I old. When I got out of college, one of my roommates, he was getting married, and so I was in the wedding, and a bunch of the guys in the wedding. So he's like, "Hey, like, let's go on a bachelor party. Let's go on like a weekend."
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you want to go? Mind you, we were all New Yorkers. You want to go to the city? You want to go to the shore? No, I want to go to Baltimore. Like, you want to go to what? Like, I want to go to Baltimore. He might as well have said like, I don't know. Like, you might as well just say like Memphis or something. Although Memphis at least is just like a blues. I don't know. Like, because San Antonio, like I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, man, I'll go to Baltimore. So we go to Baltimore, and everybody involved, big sports fans. It was in the summer, so the Orioles are playing. They're pretty good at the time, and they're hosting the Toronto Blue Jays. And before we went to the game that night, we went to a casino, and one of our buddies indulged aggressively in alcohol for a 3:00 in the afternoon trip to the casino.
Nice.
And he liked to gamble anyway, but literally gambled like every dime that he had to his name. Like, and he put it on hitting the over for the Orioles Blue Jays game that he's a Yankees fan. He didn't even care, right? Literally got so annihilated, he put down like his entire bank account on the over on this game. And so the over was, let's try to make sure I'm right with this. It was 9. I think it was 9. So we go to the game. The first inning of the game, the Orioles, I'm sorry, was it the Orioles? Because they would have, yes. The Orioles had a grand slam and are up 6-2 after the first inning. If memory, maybe I didn't know. It's 5-3. It's 5-3. This guy is like starting to become coherent again, and now is celebrating. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm going to basically double my life's worth."
Right.
And we're not even out of the first inning. The game then proceeds to go scoreless until the 9th inning. People have left. There's nobody at this game anymore. We are sitting down the third base line just beyond the infield. He is now catatonic. Okay. He's come to grips with the fact he's going to have to call his girlfriend, now wife, and explain to her that they have to move back in with their parents because he lost all his money betting the over on a Blue Jays Orioles game in August. Top of the 9th plays out. The Blue Jays, Jose Reyes is on the team at the time. He gets to third base with 2 outs. Nobody cares about this guy, whether he scores or not, right? My buddy's life is on the line. I mean, now he is stone cold sober. Okay, he's sweating profusely, like it's a disaster. 2 out, guy on third base. Whoever the hell was up for Toronto, right-handed hitter, hits a ground ball right at Gold Glove shortstop J.J. Hardy, and it went right through his legs. And this idiot that I'm buddies with gets a push. I have tried to find the footage of this. There has to be, it's like 6 complete assholes down the left field line just going berserk over some run that doesn't even matter because he got the push. Now, he did not win because like the next batter flew out or whatever, but he pushed it. I've never seen somebody so relieved in my life. It was almost like those Maury, like, "Are you the fathers?"
Uh-huh.
And the guy, it's like, "You are not the father." And the guy's just like in the chair, like, oh, like he's just it was that, but like times 10 because it wasn't reality TV. It was legitimate real life.
Right. Yeah.
But unbelievable. Like one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. Like, only funny because the normal part of me would have wanted him to lose. Because I was like, this will be the funniest thing ever to watch. You have to call your girlfriend. Like, honey, I got hammered at a Baltimore casino. I lost it all. Like, but I actually felt so bad for him as the innings were going on. I'm like, somebody's got to hit a double or something.
Yeah.
Something.
Like you keep the line moving or something.
Oh, my God. When the ball got hit, you were like, oh, my God. He's like, it was just right at him. It was like a 2-hopper to a Gold Glove shortstop. And somehow he missed it. And I always have wondered, like, was JJ Hardy on the take for my buddy? Like, did he hear us? Because we were the only 6 people left in the stadium. He's like, you know what? I'm going to let this one go for him.
We're going to win the ball game anyway.
I'm going to let it go for my boy here on the left. Because I've been listening to the conversation. It sounds like a life ender. You know, like he was absolutely going to a group that ends in anonymous if that ball's fielded cleanly. Okay. But it wasn't, and he pushed. And to this day, other than people listening, there's nobody ever heard about that story. He's like, don't tell anybody.
So naturally, you tell it on a podcast. I love it.
Oh, statute of limitations. It was about 12 years ago. It's all right now.
Oh, yeah. No, it's fine then.
Oh, my God. I'm telling you, man. One of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. It was amazing. It was awesome.
Well, now baseball's back, baby. If you can't be romantic about baseball, I don't know what to tell you. We're gonna power rank our top 5 ballpark foods from 5 to 1.
Yep.
This was my idea, so I will start. Number 5, I'm going with peanuts. Here's the reason I got peanuts at 5. I don't eat peanuts anywhere else. I'm not just out and about grabbing a bag of peanuts. I grab a bag of peanuts when I go to the ballpark, so I can throw the shells on the ground too. When you're in that, we can just toss the shells on the ground. I don't have to be, a polished, upstanding citizen. They're good. I mean, I love what do you get?
Dirt bagged well.
So don't clean them. Right, so somebody else will clean them. They're like, sir, you're in the bathroom right now. Well, somebody else will get it.
You're a quick trip. Right. You can't just do this everywhere.
This is the health department. Why are you throwing peanut shells on the
You ever
ground?
done a Texas Roadhouse?
Yes, and they need to bring that back.
They just encourage it to be a scumbag. All right, just well
Oh my God.
food at the waiter. Yeah.
So my sister, when we were, I was young, so she was even younger. That's how math works. We were at a Miami Five Guys. We were in Miami. We went to Five Guys, and she was like, this is a place you can throw the peanuts on the shells on the ground. So she's throwing peanut shells. We're like, what are you doing? She's like, isn't this a place where you can throw the peanuts on the ground? I was like, no, that's Texas Roadhouse, not Five Guys in the middle of Miami. But peanuts, my number 5.
I feel like it, as a New Yorker, like you can just do that at any Sbarro. Like you can just go in and be like, "You're sullying our reputation." Just throw a huge bag of peanuts in there. All right, number 5. I'll go with a similar food. I'll go Cracker Jacks.
Okay, that's fair. Yep.
Another thing that I will never eat anywhere else. Like, no point in my life have I ever gone to a grocery store and be like, you got any Cracker Jacks? But Cracker Jacks made a living off that song. By the way, that song,
Cracker Jack.
that guy who wrote that song, never seen a baseball game. Fun fact. Okay.
Huh.
Learn that while watching Ken Burns baseball. Educate yourselves. But yeah, so Cracker Jack, good food. Kind of like popcorn, but better. So I'll say Cracker Jack at number 5.
I think that's a strong pick right there. This is another food I don't really get elsewhere. I was trying to think of like some at the bottom where like I only eat at the ballpark, right? Some foods that I only eat there.
Right.
That's Dippin' Dots. Dippin' Dots, I only really eat there. I remember my dad was telling me about Dippin' Dots as a kid, and he's like, yeah, this is the future of ice cream. And it hasn't really turned into it, but like
Your dad was prospecting ice cream.
my dad was like, he loved Dippin' Dots. Yeah, he's like, this is it. This is how ice cream's gonna be forever.
We invest now, son.
But Dippin' Dots, I got a number 4, especially out of the little helmet, the little souvenir helmet too. I think that elevates it. But that's what I got. You're number 4.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good pick. I think it depends on the ballpark. It could be higher than this depending on the park, but I'm going to say nachos.
That's a great point.
So, because like some ballparks really do it right. Like they give you like some brisket or something. Like, I'm imagining Coffin is probably just insane. But like you go to Yankee Stadium, like you want nachos here. They just wail them at you with a bunch of gross cheese.
That's like nacho cheese in a bag of Tostinos.
Yeah, and they just dump the cheese like in the bag and they're like, here, figure it out. Like, okay, thanks. There's never enough napkins. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
But I will say nachos at 4.
I think it's a solid one. Number 3, you're starting to get to I think staple foods. Like these are like you could go to the ballpark to eat these. I don't think you can ever go wrong in terms of value, in terms of amounts of food that you're getting with a good chicken tender basket. I think a good chicken tender basket at a sporting event, ballpark specifically, nice sustainable, especially if you're drinking some beers.
Yeah.
If you have a chicken tender basket, get something in your stomach, hearty like that. Chicken tenders, solid number 3 for me.
All right. I was gonna say just in general, just ice cream. Like just, hey, listen, get a cone at the game, sit there,
Solid.
give me a damn waffle cone, and don't be afraid to load up the ice cream. Don't baby it.
Right.
I can't say these people like, 2 scoops, and it's really 2 scoops. Bro, I'm paying $18 for an ice cream. Okay, load it up. What are you paying for it?
Right. You can cut me some.
Let's go. Come on. An extra scoop's not going to kill you. But then number 3, just ice cream in general, specifically in a cone.
That's good. They got a Belfonte at the at Kauffman Stadium. You can go out there and get good ice cream. Belfonte got good ice cream. Number 2 for me, I got helmet nachos. See, the helmet nachos are always like a little bit more elevated, right, than like your regular nachos that you can get. As you mentioned, the nachos in Kansas City. Didn't want to give anything away when you're talking about nachos. They do have a brisket acho out there. Cheesy corn brisket acho. It bangs. It's really good. And I love the little souvenir helmet you get with it. They're great for popcorns, salads, anything around your house, throwing up in. They're great for all. They're great for
anybody.
Helmet nachos at 2.
Okay. Pretzel. Soft pretzel.
Man, I think I forgot to add that on my list. That's a tough one for me.
Big soft pretzel. Big fan. And there is nothing worse than when somebody goes, oh, is there too much salt in that? No, there's not. Anybody who I sit with at a baseball game gets a pretzel, like, oh my God, I hate when they load it up with salt. Get out. Like, give me a cup of nacho cheese and a pretzel and load it up with salt. I am at a baseball game probably having 7 beers. You think I'm really worried about my sodium intake at the moment?
Yep.
Like, I want some salt there, and I want to, and it's going to make me thirsty for another beer. So I big soft pretzel with a little cup of cheese.
A vast oversight on my part to not have pretzel on my list.
I'm guessing we both have the same number 1.
Yeah, number 1's a hot dog.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, it has to be a hot dog. And obviously, I didn't put beer on the list because beer's not food; it's drink.
I thought about one of those yardstick beers. Comes in the bat.
Yeah, putty. I got a whole collection of beer bats back there. I got a whole team's worth of bats back there.
Next time I go to Kansas City, you and I go to Kauffman, and we'll see who needs to get carried out first. Yeah, we'll just tell the usher, listen, just be ready.
Keep an eye on us.
Be ready. I'd hate for them to close the ballpark. I'm slumped over in row 19. Hot dog is somewhat. It's funny, like when you get a hot dog, you put ketchup on it.
I'm a mustard and relish guy.
Okay, so I like putting the ketchup and mustard on the hot dog.
Okay.
When I moved to Chicago, you get the Chicago dogs. They will kill you if you put a ketchup on a hot dog.
Yeah,
they get pissed, man. Like I found that out the hard way. I went to Wrigley. I'm like, yeah, whatever. There's a stupid pickle they're putting on here, and I'm putting some guys like, hey, no ketchup. I was like, fuck out of here, man. Like I paid $8 for this. I'll do the hell I want with it. But it was the only time anybody in the Midwest ever been mean to me about anything. I was like, geez, all right, if they're that serious.
They must be.
I was like, I got to reconsider. But, getting a hot dog at a ballpark feels like about the most American thing you can do.
Yeah. Obviously, you pair it with a beer as well. I think all of these actually are paired. Every one of these are paired with beer.
Hot Fudge Sundae, beer.
Beer.
Yeah. Got to mix it in there.
Uh-huh. It's not Miller Park anymore in Milwaukee.
No, it is not. It is
it's American Family, right?
American Family, yeah, whatever. My buddy works for American Family. I make fun of him all the time. I'm like, how could you do this?
There's a study of that, like, corporations that do naming rights for stadiums are like gone within the next 5 years or something like that. I have to find the exact study that was done, but it was like 95% of the time, if a team invested in like naming rights for a stadium, they were like gone within the next 5 years. It's crazy.
It still annoys me when I go to Kansas City and I see GEHA Field on the back of the one big scoreboard. Like, it is Arrowhead. I'm sorry. And like, my God, like they need the money. I mean, like Clark was really hurt. And I don't think Clark, they all do it. All these teams do it. But like,
right.
Come on, man. I mean, just, and look, I'm equal opportunity. It's like the Knicks. It's like, it's still Madison Square Garden, but now they go, it's presented by Chase. Well, you boys not making enough money off that team? Like,
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, it's right on the floor. It's right on the floor. It's the stadium. It's like, you guys really, Madison Square Garden's not making enough money for you?
Right.
Oh, it's the worst. It is. It's also like, you know what? We're going to go full circle here. It's like how MSG Network as a New Yorker. So when it first started, it was like the Knicks, the Rangers, the Devils.
Yeah.
And then like occasionally the Islanders, who nobody gives a shit about in New York unless you live on Long Island. Okay. And then like Buffalo got all up in arms. They started putting the Sabres on there. And I was like, whoa. You're not even New York. Okay. New Jersey and Connecticut is more New York.
Right.
Buffalo. Like, and I always love people in Buffalo. Like, no, we're one of New York. No, you're not. You are in Buffalo, which is fine. I got nothing against the city, but you are not like, you do not belong on MSG Network. That is an affront. I'm sorry.
I agree.
You know, and then you like, oh, they should be on there more than the Devils who are in Jersey. Bro, the Devils are 8 minutes away from New York. Like, stop. When people think of New York, they don't think of Lackawanna, up in wherever the hell. Like, they're thinking of New York City, which is what Madison Square Garden Network is about. Like, I remember when they first started putting on the Sabres, I almost canceled my subscription. I was so pissed. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. The nerve you people have. And then on the flip side, Yes Network, which is Yankees Entertainment, is the worst thing in the world. Okay, the worst team. They apparently weren't making enough money off of the Yankees. And like, what do we think about the New Jersey Nets being on Yes? I was like, that is just a crime against all humanity. Like, my God, like, Yankeeography wasn't making enough money. You knew they were in a tough spot. When, first Yankeeography was like, oh, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio. And then it was like, Yankeeography, Ricky Leday. And he's like, you're not going to tell you, I think we're good. I think you've hit the amount of Yankeeographies we needed. It's like Ricky Leday played 4 seasons and had one memorable moment when he legged out a double on opening day. Great. Awesome. And then we ended up with the New Jersey Nets.
Yes. I watched a Sabres game on TV. I think they were playing the Predators. And I was taken aback because, on ESPN, if you have ESPN Plus, you have like you can get all the hockey games, right?
Yeah.
And so I accidentally clicked on the Sabres broadcast first before I clicked on the Predators broadcast. And I was taken aback when it said MSG. I was like, what? I didn't know that was a thing until like a month ago.
It's unbelievable. It's so damn embarrassing. Like, look, right? I think even Buffalonians would admit, like, come on, like, what are we doing here? We need our own station or something, right? Like, have like the Great Lakes Network and like band together with Cleveland. I don't know, like in Erie, Pennsylvania. Like, I'm sorry, that is ridiculous. And just for people who maybe are unaware, okay, I grew up 2 hours from New York City. Although ironically, this was always a fun thing with us. My local news growing up was New York City. And then the next town over was no longer the local news for New York City. So I was with a bunch of hayseed trash. I'm getting the local news in Manhattan. But any of it, it's like a 6-hour drive from me to Buffalo. Okay. It's not like Buffalo's 2 hours away. Okay. Buffalo is like a weekend trip. So please stop it. It's embarrassing. Remember when the Bills played in Toronto, like a handful of games because they were thinking about moving them up there?
I do not remember that. I remember when the Blue Jays played in Buffalo. Really?
Oh yeah. Look it up. Yeah, it was in the 2000s. Yeah, it was back during like the J.P. Losman era where Buffalo was like, do we want this team anymore?
Right.
And Toronto's like, do we want this team? And there was like a complete mid-off between the two cities. That was like when Trump was trying to buy them.
Oh, this was 2008 to 2012.
Yes. Yeah, like Trump literally tried to like buy them at one point. Like they were maybe moving to Canada, which all kinds of like intersections there. Like they would have been like the first international team, but then maybe brought back and not been international anymore. Like there's a whole lot going on.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, they played in Toronto.
That is interesting. I do remember during the pandemic when the Blue Jays had to play in Buffalo because of the international travel stuff, and they played at their minor league team. Their minor league teams in Buffalo. So
this show's completely off the rails. I promise you wouldn't go an hour, and we're at an hour 3, and we're talking about minor league baseball stadiums in Buffalo. So sorry, everyone.
Yeah, that'll do it for this week's edition. This week of That Football Show. We'll be back on Wednesday. Hopefully, the Chiefs or the NFL will do something to give us to talk about. We spent a lot of time talking about the city of Buffalo in this podcast. Truthfully.
They had it coming. For agreeing to that show, they had it coming.
It's fair. That's Matt Verderame. I'm Tucker Franklin. We'll catch you guys next week on That Football Show. Thank you to our partners, Ben Holiday, Bottled in Bond, Bourbon, and Holiday Distillery. Please drink responsibly, as I'm about to go do.